Hey, it's Joe Crump. I've got another hypothetical deal structure of deals that we're doing with zero down, offers that we're making with zero down. And we're looking at the buyer has X amount of dollars, or I'm sorry, has X situation, and we're going to show them how to solve the problem with the zero down structures and make some money doing it. This particular property, they're asking $475,000. It's got an asking price of $675,000. It's got a mortgage on there of $475,000, so he just wants to get out of the property. He's got some equity there, but he doesn't care. He's just anxious to get out of it. It's got principal and interest, taxes and insurance, comes to $2,900 a month payment on it, and it would rent for $3,000 a month. Now, first of all, does it make sense for him to give away $200,000? Even though he's willing to do it, he just wants to get rid of the headache. Does it make sense for him to do that? It might, but maybe not. Maybe it makes sense for him to take a lease option tenant in there at $3,000 a month, so he's got a little bit of cash flow. It's kind of tight, but it's pretty much break even or a little bit of cash flow. He does that for a 3-year lease option at $675,000. You raise the price up to $685,000. You make $10,000, $20,000. You raise it enough so you can get $10,000 or $20,000 out of it. So you get the lease option fee, and you're going to get him a buyer at $675,000. Now, that buyer is going to pay him $3,000 a month, so he's at break even on this property. He's got a mortgage on there, so it's not costing him anything to keep the property. It's not costing him anything to sell the property. And he does have the headache of having a possible tenant who might not pay, and then he has to go back in and sell it to somebody else after you get rid of that person for him. But you could do that for him. He wouldn't have to do that for himself, and he would protect that $200,000 equity position. So that would be one thing that he could do. Now, if he doesn't want to mess with this thing, he might allow you to mess with it. Let's say, well, what if I paid you, $500,000 for the property, or $475,000 for the property? And what I'll do is make payments to you on either a subject to, because you owe $475,000 on it, so you just sell it to me subject to. I take over the deed, and I make payments on it. I'm going to make the $2,900 a month payment on it, but I have rents coming in of $3,000. I sold it for, maybe got a $20,000 down payment, so I take that money and I put it in an escrow. So in case I have to vacancy or I have to evict this guy, I can do that, and I can still have money, and I have a reserve to cover this cost. And I have $200,000 of equity in this property all of a sudden, and this person stays in there. Or maybe I just take this property, I make $3,000 a month payments on it, I put it on the MLS, and I sell it for $675,000, and I make $100,000, $150,000 profit right off the bat, because this guy didn't want to mess with it. And that's something else I could do too, just make a cash profit. You run into these situations. It's not that unusual to run into situations like this where you can just take the property, make payments on it for a while you're selling it on the MLS. The problem that you might have if you're inexperienced is not knowing if that $675,000 is real or not. So you want to find out, did they put it on the market with a realtor? If they had a realtor and the realtor told them it was worth $675,000 and it's been on the market for 3 months, and it didn't sell at $675,000, it's not worth $675,000. The MLS will sell a property when you hit it at its market value for very close to market value, usually on average 97% of asking price once it sells. But 1/3 of all the houses that go on the MLS don't sell, and this may have been one of those. If that's the case and it's been on the market for more than a month or 2 months and it's not sold, it's probably not worth what you're asking for it, as long as it's properly listed on the MLS and you've got a proper agent doing it. So those are things to keep in mind if you're going to take on a property like this. I think it'd be safer for you to take it on a subject to, find a land contract, find a lease option buyer for it, get $20,000 down, then you close the deal. So you don't want to make those $3,000, $2,900 a month payments until you have your buyer. That may take you 30 days. You find your buyer. As soon as you find your buyer, then you close the subject to. He transfers it to you, and you put the $3,000 that he gives you towards the monthly payment. You get your $20,000, which you put in reserve for when you have a vacancy, and you hold on to that property and see if they exercise it, and if not, at least you start paying it off over time, and eventually those values, maybe coming around for you, and you've already got this big chunk of equity in there, so you're going to be doing well with a property like that. So that would be a nice deal if you had it. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thanks.